Gia New Moons. I am Josie the Mustang, the Afro-Latina, Regina George of Witches, and you're aligned with the frequency of the Lua Nova podcast. And in today's very special bonus episode, there's a few things that I need to go over. I'm going to try to make this bonus as short as possible because this is basically just a bunch of updates. Typically when I have updates, they are going to be something that everybody can hear. So this is why you are hearing this. You are likely hearing this on a random day. Bonus episodes go up on Fridays, if there are any that are for the regular public, and regular episodes air every single Monday on all major podcast platforms. So the first thing that I want to do is say thank you. In the last 30 days, and at the time of this recording, I now have over 4,000 plus new subscribers. Notice I said subscribers, not just people who once in a while they come by my podcast. They don't know the first thing about the Afro-Latino community. They don't want to educate themselves, etc. They accidentally clicked on my show. I'm not referring to them. I'm referring to my new moons, actual subscribers who said, you know what? She gets it. She wants to help us. I like the help. And I appreciate her for being who she is. And I appreciate you for being who you are. So thank you for being here. And whenever I say certain words like brigada, that's Portuguese. That is not, that is not Spanish. So for that one person that I had to correct and say, well, I'm not speaking Spanish, that's Portuguese. So please don't correct me when you obviously have not educated yourself on other languages. And I won't call them out by name. I'll be nice enough not to do that. And they then deleted their comment because they always do. But I want to also say that for whatever reason, my TikTok has grown. I have no idea why. I don't update my TikTok. So if you follow me on TikTok and my username on TikTok is the Lua Nova podcast, just know that it's not an area that I'm going to be updating. I'm not a fan of TikTok. They like to push a lot of negativity. It used to be a lot of fun. And then somewhere along the way, they changed their servers and now it's not fun anymore. It is just a bunch of division and political content, and there's really nothing else. If you are somebody like myself who is constantly looking up astrology, etc., that's more of the content that you want. And also, I love to see all of your dogs, and I love seeing puppies and all sorts of dogs. Doesn't matter the breed. I just absolutely love dogs. So that has helped me through my own grief of losing Hoshi. If you're new to my show, then Hoshi is my 16-year-old Pomeranian, and he passed away at 16. I'm sorry. Why did I say it like that? He passed away when he was 16 on January the 5th of this year. So you can go back if you want to, if you're new to my show, and learn more about that and the grieving process of losing a 16-year-old best friend. And I thank all of you who have gone out of your way to send me condolences and very kind words. I hope that I've helped you through your own grief. And remember, grief comes in many forms. Your grief is not less than just because your grief is over losing a job. Your grief is not less than because you lost a cat or your horse, etc. Your grief matters just like you do. Okay, so I hope that this show has made you feel like you're not so alone in that grief. A lot of this season has been focused on healing. Going forward, we're going to be focusing on celebrating. I think that's something Hoshi would want. I think that's something that if you've lost a loved one that they would want for you. And I think that we are in a time where the universe is asking people like ourselves to celebrate, to be happy, to raise your vibration, to keep a high vibration. And with that being said, I want you to be very careful about who you are giving your energy to. You know what I find interesting? I'm going to use the Queen Bee, Beyonce, as an example. Ignorant people who enjoy being uneducated, and you might hear people mowing the lawn in the background. You know that I record near a window. They like to say that Beyonce is a witch as though that's somehow a negative thing. As somebody who is a witch, who comes from a line of witches on both sides of my family, that's not a negative thing to say. That's a compliment. So just know that somebody like Beyonce would see that as a compliment and is going to transmute your energy because she's great at doing that. However, the real negative energy that is being transmuted against you comes from people like the orange turd, Donald Trump. Obviously, this is a very anti-Trump podcast. If you have ever heard my disclaimer, you know that. As a proud Afro-Latina, I don't like anybody who clearly has no culture, clearly is insecure, and clearly hates themselves. And so they take that self-hate out on everybody else. And I mean everybody else, because I want people to understand Donald Trump doesn't like anybody but Donald Trump. So even if you are a heterosexual white man, he don't like you either. You're not special, I promise, not in his eyes. And so what you see going on in the United States is people giving their negative energy and helping people like the orange turd move forward. If you are a Patreon member, and I'll tell you how you can join Patreon at the end of this bonus, then there is a hex against not only the orange turd that is Donald Trump, but also his supporters. Feel free to listen to that hex every single day because it is a verbal hex. Remember, words are spells. So whatever it is that you put out, be careful because your words are spells. Whatever energy you give out, that's also a spell. So be careful of who you give your energy to. When you get angry, that's a frequency. When you say certain words, they have a frequency. Everything has a frequency. Okay? So just be mindful of that. I'm saying this again as somebody who comes from a lineage of witches. What does that mean? That means on both, all caps, both sides of my family, I come from a line of witches. So I might just know a little bit about what I'm talking about. I no longer teach spells for the public. Whatever spells that are already up, feel free to still listen to those. I purposely made them easy. I purposely made them cute. But my real spell work will never be just available for the public, especially in the current and during these current times. Okay. It's just not a good idea. The next thing I want to discuss, and this is not for my subscribers. This is maybe for people who you need to play this for. Okay. Feel free to play this for them. Everybody Black is not African American. So whenever there's this assumption of, well, this doesn't affect the Black community, what's going on? Yes, it does, because I'm Black. And I'm not African American, because everybody Black is not African American. Everybody Black is also not Afro-Latina or an Afro-Latino. Black people come from all over the world. So what are you talking about? That it doesn't affect the Black community? What do you mean by that? The fact that so many people choose to not educate themselves. And they just say, well, I didn't learn that in school. Okay, well, you're an adult now, so what's your excuse? Do you know I listen to history videos for fun? I listen to educational videos for fun. Do you know that places like Harvard and Yale have free classes that you can take? I finished one recently from Harvard. It was fun. I loved it. It was fun to learn about the Aztec culture, which ties into my own background. It was fun to learn about the Mayan calendar, etc. These are things you can learn for free. YouTube has quite a few educational videos for free. As somebody who has to learn about spirituality, I make sure that I know quite a bit about different spiritual backgrounds outside of just how I think. I've learned about the Buddhist culture. I've learned about Christianity, God's wife, Asherah, etc. I've taken the time to learn these things because how can I teach you anything if I don't know what I'm talking about? And so when you say ignorant things like, well, this doesn't affect the Black community, what's going on in the United States? What? Because I'm Black. So what are you talking about? What would make you think that the negativity I'm seeing wouldn't affect Afro-Latinos? Wouldn't affect people from Africa? What are you talking about? I'll give you another example. I used to work with a guy. I hope he's doing good wherever he was. He was such a good human being. He was a French African. He was French and Black.